Hey man, hey Niels, welcome to the show, man. Really want to talk a little bit today about the crazy world of content and what's happening, and just how many people have got famous um, through content. From Iman Gazdi, KSI, Mr. Beast, Speed, Casey. I mean, so many people have done so well, and that's through content. And it's getting a pretty crazy world right there, because these YouTubers are gaining such huge followers. They're able to monetize that through so many different ways, including brand deals, sponsorship deals, including affiliate links, selling courses, monetizing traffic. It's getting crazy. I mean, what do you think is going on here?
Well, obviously, you know, people being aware that, trends are changing. And if you're, I believe these guys set themselves apart through the mere fact that they were able to jump on the bandwagon early to identify what was happening. And yeah, to create that leverage, thanks to being at the right time, at the right place at the right time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, a lot of people make fun of these YouTubers, but at the end of the day, it was actually Kim Kardashian, funnily enough, who was the pioneer of, making content kind of relevant. And she created this whole show behind, getting famous through her show, right? And
Well, and other things.
yeah, and other things, but it's absolute. And then her sister, who became a billionaire, selling these makeup brands, and this was
Mhm.
all done through the content of basically someone in her house that was constantly recording and filming her life, and her dating experiences, and it's crazy what's going on, right?
Mm. Well, yeah, in a way, it kind of like nurtured that same concept that Instagram is based upon, right? So where you constantly, it's a form of voyeurism. You always have like an eye on the intimacy of what's happening in other people's lives, which, like 20 years ago would be kind of crazy,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, well, it still is crazy that you're able to create
it
such a
is.
huge audience purely through interesting content, and then monetize it in such an enormous way. And basically, what's her name? The sister of Kim Kardashian, Jennifer, who became a billionaire with a makeup brand, and
Oh yeah,
and it just shows.
Kelly.
Yeah, it's something we talk about, especially on Founder Bounty, about how it shows every entrepreneur should really be starting their own kind of content brand, their own, um, selling their own journey, as well as building their own brand, as well as building their company's brand, to be able to cross sell, which is essentially what every YouTuber's done.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to create a product, otherwise you have nothing to sell, right?
Mm,
So starting from there, man, like, your image can be a product. You can actually, sell actual products, like you said, across market is, kind of where we see most people going. If it's not like using the amount of retention for advertisement, it would
mm.
be like actual products. So
So I
there's
mean,
examples out there like Prime and all these other products that are being sold this way.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Rush got rich through, he started streaming, NBA
Hmm.
on Twitch, I think it was, and he just gained this absolutely massive audience. And then he had people like, models like Sky Bree, let's say, come on. It
Hmm.
got him even bigger, got him more of an audience. And then I think he was involved a little bit with Andrew Tate early on or whatever. But um, that got him to another level. And of course, now his net worth is, 50 million. He's 24 years old. I mean, this is all impressive stuff. How, you know, do you get to those levels? It's crazy.
Well, some people will say it's luck. Then you can ask yourself, what is luck? I like to think it's where preparation meets opportunity. Um, you have to have preparation on one side, otherwise the opportunity doesn't have any value.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if
I mean, I don't think it's luck. I don't. I sent Aiden Ross's profile around a couple of my friends, and those successful entrepreneurs say this is not luck. This is
of
not
course
luck. There is no way this guy got to these amounts
this is
without just luck. Yeah, right. It's a serious amount of money.
Of course, yeah, but this is exactly what I meant to say about it. It's preparation is essential, because otherwise the opportunity doesn't have any value, right? So I was trying to say this is because the other way around goes the same. If you have no preparation, the opportunity doesn't have any value either.
Yeah.
So luck only exists when you are prepared and that you are in an environment where you create opportunities for yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, obviously, people are going to say, yeah, I'm unlucky, I'm unlucky. Well, are you preparing yourself to be in a situation where you're able to leverage the opportunities you're looking for? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Call Her Daddy's podcast with Sophie, for example, who left Barstool Sports and then got a $60 million deal with Spotify. I mean, again, through content, through creating of a podcast. I mean, it is getting crazy, and it's just showing the importance of everyone out there, who's looking as well to build a business, to actually creating content. You have now these real estate agencies, Oppenheimer Group on Netflix, who are openly selling their, real estate guy, Brian Serhan out there in New York as well, who are selling their own brand in order to sell real estate as well. So, it's impressive what's going on there. And I think we both agree, anyone out there that's looking to build a brand, to actually create some interesting content around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, there's like a sort of a fan factor, let's say, created, well, on one side by the platforms. Obviously, people have, like we are saying earlier, a much more intimate vision on people's lives, and that goes also for public figures, and people building their brands that tend to become public figures. So if you think about it, I mean, you wouldn't see. What was it the other day? Video of Cardi B having explosive diarrhea on Instagram because
I haven't seen that one, but I'm sure he got a lot of views. I was
so
paid the bills.
she was telling people that she couldn't make the show because she was sick. But instead of instead of just saying that, this is how she chooses to feed her persona, right? I
Yeah.
guess it's all part of the gig of the spiel. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like and at the same time, it's buzz, right? Because no matter like the adage goes, there's no bad publicity, right? So it creates buzz. People feed on that, but I guess it's also what makes things a bit more vain in the end. Because people are always looking for that next dopamine hit, that next buzzy thing,
Right. So
So
they're pretty much going to do anything for the content, for some interesting content. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
Totally agree with that. You've got a lot of people trying to understand what works, what's going to work. Car content, for example, works pretty well. We found that as well. You're filming a bunch of cars. That content, usually does work well. But the point about all of this is that 2024 is very different from 10 years ago, right? And where we were beginning of streaming, and now we're at selling stories, storytelling, and creating good content, and that's really going to bring the traffic, the clicks, the conversions, and essentially more income, right?
Well, yeah, I mean it's exposure, right? So to be able to sell anything, you need exposure.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, the more attractive you get
Yeah.
from, well, in the position of other brands to try and leverage your notoriety to sell their stuff. It's a question of reach, right?
Yeah.
That's why, like, for example, like today, like a podcast like Joe Rogan is it has such reach that is almost unfathomable for traditional media. to get that type of audience. So things have shifted, and that's what's kind of funny. Like talking about that longer podcast format as Joe's. On one side, you see that people are having a shorter and shorter attention span, like on social media apps, for example, with all the reel formats. It's very short format. So you have a tendency of shorter attention span there, and then at the contrary, you see platforms like Joe's doing 2-3 hour podcasts. So it's quite an interesting thing to witness that there's such a difference in formats for what's popular at the moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dr. Dre as well, who, sold Beats, became the first rapper billionaire out there. DJ Khaled, who basically, realized how important content is, and he just creates any kind of content possible to get you, on your Instagram feed, to get himself on your Instagram feed. So, it's pretty crazy, what's going on in this world. And I think, yeah, the importance of content cannot be underestimated. So make sure you get out there, get your phones out, record anything interesting, and you might get some traffic and some conversions, right?
Well, yeah, as long as you try to make something fun, something relatable, something that has at least some type of value that sharing is caring, right? So
Yeah,
from there on, there's something to be to be talked about.
for sure,
So
for sure,
you know,
for sure.
and then again, content today, it's purely about, in the end, about exposure. So the more you can be out there and show interesting stuff and go over cool topics, the more people remember you, the more brand awareness you can create.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot. This has been fun, enjoyable. If you guys like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and put in the comments what you guys are building. We'd love to hear that. And thanks a lot for joining us. Take care. See you next time.